An exponent, we're just going to write x to the y power like that. 3 to the second means 3 times 3. And for zero exponents, grab a calculator and enter 5 to the 0, 8 to the 0, and 3 to the 0. And you will notice a pattern. And I'm just going to do the first one, 5y to the x, 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So x to the 0 power is 1. And negative exponents, if you have x to the negative y, that means it moves to the bottom of a fraction and it becomes positive. So 2 to the negative 2 is 1 over 2 to the second. 2 to the second is 4, so that would be 1/4. 3 to the negative second would be 1 over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. And we're going to use these ideas in these first couple of examples. 2 to the negative third is 1 over 2 to the third, and 2 to the third power is 8. 5 to the negative second is the same as 1 over 5 to the second, and 5 to the second power is 25. Negative 3 to the negative 4 is the same as 1 over negative 3 to the fourth. That negative exponent just moves it to the bottom of the fraction, so that becomes 1 over 81. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Number 5, 5 to the 0 power is 1. 7 to the negative 2 power is 1 over 7 to the second. 7 to the second power is 49. Number 7 is 6 to the third power. That is 1 over 6 to the third, which is 216. Number 8 is kind of tricky. The answer is not 1 this time. Anything to the 0 power is 1, but then you have to put the negative in front of it. And if you have a negative in the denominator, that means it moves to the top. So k to the negative second becomes k to the second. X to the negative sixth becomes x to the sixth. We have a couple of examples on the back page, and what I like to do, 5, this m to the negative third is the negative. That means it moves to the opposite place, so that becomes 5m to the third. Number 2, this is going to move to the top of the fraction, so that becomes 10 times 2 to the third. 2 to the third power is 8, and 10 times 8 is 80. Number 3, I like to break these into pieces. That's a piece, that's a piece, and that's a piece. So there are 3 pieces or 3 parts. And then you need to look at each of those pieces or parts and see if they stay or if they go. This is an x to the third. It's a positive exponent, so it stays there. This is a negative exponent, so it moves to the top. And this is a positive exponent, so it stays on the bottom. Number 4, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. The 6 and the 2, you reduce that. 6 divided by 2 is 3. This m to the negative 4th power, it's on the top of a fraction. It goes to the bottom. N to the negative 1, it's on the bottom. It moves to the top. And p to the 6th power stays on the bottom. Number 9, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different parts. The 9 stays the same. Anything to the 0 power is 1. This moves to the bottom of a fraction because it's a negative, and this moves to the top of the fraction. So you end up with 9 t to the 4th over r to the 7th. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different parts. The 6 stays the same. The w to the negative 2nd moves to the bottom. X to the negative 3rd moves to the bottom. Anything times 0 is 1, and this negative exponent moves to the top. So that becomes 6y to the 4th over w to the 2nd, x to the 3rd. Number 7, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections. The 6 stays the same. X to the negative 3rd moves to the bottom. Y to the 4th moves to the top. Negative exponent moves to the top. Negative exponent moves to the top. So you end up with 6 y to the 4th m to the 6th over x to the 3rd. Number 8, 5 over 10 reduces to 1/2. X to the negative 2 moves to the bottom. Y to the negative 3 moves to the bottom. A to the 5th stays right where it is. And the b to the negative 4th, that moves to the top. Number 9, the 3 stays the same. Anything to the 0 power is 1. The 5 stays the same, and g to the 8th moves to the top. So that becomes 3 g to the 8th over 5. Number 10, the 2 stays where it is. M to the 7th, since it's a negative 7, it moves to the opposite place. And this negative 5, p to the negative 5th, since it's a negative, that moves to the top and becomes a positive. Number 11, m to the negative 4th moves to the bottom. Anything to the 0 power is 1. The 6 stays on the bottom, and the p to the 2nd stays on the bottom. Number 12 can be a little bit confusing. There are actually 2 parts there. There's a 3 and an m to the 5th. The 3 stays where it is, and the m to the 5th moves to the bottom.